JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, wanted man turns himself in, slapped with gun charges. A 29-year-old man who was reportedly listed as wanted by the Sentence Bay police was slapped with gun charges after turning himself in on Wednesday. He is Javon Simpson, a lifeguard of Salt Spring, Montego Bay, St. James. Simpson is charged with wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Reports are that about 9:30 p.m., Simpson and a group of men were traveling in a Toyota Aximotor car, which came to a stop where a man was. Simpson alighted from the motor vehicle and fired several shots, hitting the man several times. The police were alerted, and the man was taken to hospital for treatment. During the investigation, Simpson was listed as wanted. He subsequently handed himself over to the police after it was published as being wanted. Simpson was charged after he underwent a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His accomplices are being sought by the police. Woman killed in two-vehicle crash in St. Elizabeth. A woman died as a result of injuries she sustained in a two-vehicle crash on the Fonthill Main Road in St. Elizabeth on Friday morning. Her identity has not yet been ascertained. Unconfirmed reports suggest that she is a teacher. According to a police source, the woman was a passenger in a taxi traveling towards White House when the incident occurred. The source said about 11:30 a.m., a Mitsubishi L200 heading towards Black River swerved to avoid a pothole and collided with the taxi. The woman and the driver of the taxi were seriously hurt. 6 other people were also injured. The woman was pronounced at the hospital and the others admitted for treatment. Dalrymple Philibert's Falmouth office robbed. The police have confirmed that ex-Speaker of the House and former Trelawney Southern Member of Parliament, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert's office in Falmouth, was robbed on Thursday. No one was hurt during the incident. It is understood that a lone gunman robbed the office of an undetermined sum of cash, jewelry, and an electronic gadget. Police sergeant gets 19-year prison sentence for sexually assaulting teenage girl. A police sergeant was convicted for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl in 2019 was this morning sentenced to 19 years and 3 months in prison. Christopher Bennett, who was stationed at the Denham Town Police Station in West Kingston, was sentenced by Justice Leighton Pusey in the Home Circuit Court. The married 37-year-old law enforcer, who had served the police force for 15 years, looked utterly dejected as he struggled to stand after the judge announced the sentence. Bennett, at the time of the incident, was the head of the Denham Town Community Safety and Security Branch, and the complainant was being counseled by members of his team. During the trial, it was outlined that on June 17, 2019, the policeman offered the complainant a ride from the station and took her to the Palisadoes Main Road in East Kingston, where he sexually assaulted her. A report was later made to the police, and after a probe, Bennett was arrested and charged. Following the sentencing, King's Counsel Peter Champagny applied for a bail pending appeal, but it was denied. Dancehall producer Sharp Don to go on trial November 20 for triple murder. Music producer Linval Thompson Jr., otherwise called Sharp Don, and his co-accused, Tajay Clark, are scheduled to return to the St. James Circuit Court on November 24 trial in connection with the triple murder which took place last year. The trial date was scheduled yesterday, when both men appeared in court for a plea and case management hearing. They were subsequently remanded. The accused men are charged for the shooting deaths of 27-year-old Chadwell Fraser, otherwise called Bomb Brain or Chad, 24-year-old Chamara Chippy Calvin, and the 26-year-old Tonian Reed, otherwise called Two Fly. The 3 were shot dead at a birthday party on Mall Road in Rose Heights, St. James, on May 25. Thompson was arrested by police in June during a targeted operation in the St. Catherine South Police Division. In the meantime, Thompson is also before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on a bribery charge. In that case, he is accused of offering $2 million to a policeman to remove an illegal firearm from his motor car before it was searched by the police. Thompson, who was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in relation to the illegal weapon, was freed of the gun charges last April. Attorney at law Tom Tavares Finson is representing Thompson, while Cadine Coleman is representing Clark. Hanover residents still reeling from murder of 2 elderly women. Allegations of infidelity regarding a 73-year-old woman whose husband has been charged with killing her and her 8-year-old confidant have left residents of the rural community of Kendall with a lot of questions. One of the main ones is why 84-year-old Roy Nesbeth, otherwise called Tiger, did not ask for help when his marital problems began. I am saying, how come the man has a problem and he doesn't see anybody to talk to them and get counseling or advice before he goes and do that? And he was such a vicious person, so I don't know, former Hanover champion farmer Fillmore Clark said. He said the Tiger he has known for 40 years was a nice, calm and helpful man in the community. The last time I saw him, I was going to Green Island and he was coming from the house of the same lady who he killed, and I paid his fare. It was paying, but his money was big, so I said, I'll pay your fare, and he also promised me some cane top, reminisced Clark. According to the police, about 5 p.m. on August 20, relatives found the body of retired nurse Patsy Allen in her house in Kendall, Hanover, with stab wounds to her neck. 2 hours later, the relatives of her caregiver, Tika Anderson Nesbeth, found the caregiver dead at her home. She had stab wounds to the head. A search was launched for Anderson Nesbeth's husband after efforts to reach him were unsuccessful. Residents said that Nesbeth hid for days in a hut near his farm, which is located across the road from Allen's house. They said that after he became ill, he sought out the pastor of a nearby church, confessed, and asked to be taken to the police. Oh, he went to the man of God to carry him in. We have never got to the man of God at first to talk to him. He would not have done that if he had spoken to the man of God, argued Clark, who said Nesbeth is a friend. According to residents, Anderson Nesbeth was said to be involved in an extramarital affair with one of Allen's much younger close relatives. The allegations are that her husband confronted her and she told him their marriage was over. It is said that Nesbeth accused Allen of supporting the affair. One resident of Grange, who only identified himself as Campbell, has also been left stunned by the charges leveled against Nesbeth, who he knew as a kind and nice man. I don't know what getting to him to go and do that. Kill his wife and the lady that his wife looks after. He is somebody up and down, going to his fields every day, planting his things them, and all of a sudden, something must be wrong, said Campbell. He said that apart from hypertension, Nesbeth appeared to be healthy and strong and had showed no signs of mental illness. Meanwhile, more details have emerged about Allen, one of the murder victims. Like Nesbeth, she was originally from Trelawney. She lived in England for years, then returned to Jamaica with her husband after they built a house on the island. Her husband, residents said, made a trip to England but died there before he could rejoin Allen in Jamaica. Allen later returned to England for treatment after a cancer diagnosis and eventually returned to Jamaica, where the man who accused of killing her arranged for his wife to be her caregiver. A woman who gave her name as McCullough and said she went to the same church as Allen remembered her as a soft-spoken and nice person. She is humble, mannerly, easygoing, and I never hear her quarrel. She is just simple, she said. To tell you the truth, I cried so much because I was in church this Sunday when the news come out. I couldn't stand up. I cried until because me feel it all in my belly, even though me don't like to talk about it, McCullough added. While some in the community have described Nesbeth as a Christian, his murdered wife's church sister had a different opinion. Him visit the church, but he wasn't really a Christian. When you invite him to church, him tell you say he's a Christian more than who up there, she said. Nesbeth was remanded when he made a court appearance on August 29 and is to return to court on September 29. JFJ urges Greg Christie to withdraw inflammatory comment. Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, says the comments by Executive Director of the Integrity Commission, Greg Christie, on Thursday, seemingly blaming the government for the attack on Director of Corruption Prevention, Ryan Evans, were inflammatory and potentially dangerous. JFJ Executive Director Michael Jackson says the comments should be withdrawn through an official channel. At the time, there was no evidence to suggest that the government or any of its officials could have been blamed for the unfortunate incident that Mr. Evans was subjected to. It is with that in mind that we are calling for Mr. Christie, and certainly an official statement, not a tweet, but an official statement that acknowledges that the comments made by Mr. Christie are in fact dangerous, and it could have been perceived in a way that maybe was not intended to be. Ms. Jackson argued that such an acknowledgement is critical for public trust to be maintained in the Integrity Commission. She noted that the JFJ is not demanding the resignation of Mr. Christie, but finds his statement unfortunate at a time when the country should be rallying around Mr. Evans' recovery. Mr. Evans was hospitalized after he was shot and wounded in the car park at the office of the Commission in New Kingston on Thursday morning. He was shot in the arm and a briefcase in his possession was stolen by his attackers. When Integrity Commission head Greg Christie was asked for his thoughts following the shooting Thursday, he retorted, "You should ask the government that."
What's your thoughts on the shooting?
You should ask the government that.
Why so? What does it mean, sir?
Ask them what that means. Something like among staff.
What have a staff?
Mr. Christie argued that officials of the public body have been the subject of increasing threats due to the constant criticism of the Commission by government ministers. But in a post made to X, formerly Twitter, on Thursday evening, the Commission clarified that neither it nor its executive director is conveying the blame on the government for the incident. The public body further explained that security issues have been plaguing the Commission, which have been brought to the attention of the government. The post said the Commission is withholding further comments on the matter as it is under police investigation. The police have dismissed speculation that the shooting of Mr. Evans was part of a premeditated attack on officials of the agency. They say preliminary information suggests the motive was robbery, as his attackers made off with a large sum of cash he had just withdrawn from a financial institution. In the meantime, Jackson said the threats of harm against members of the Integrity Commission, as was disclosed by Mr. Christie, must be taken seriously. There must be a great threat because death threats have been put forward to its membership, and it is something as a country we should be mindful of, and in that regard, we should be standing with the Integrity Commission and its officers. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.